It's a normal test. Alright. And I believe we are live. Aloha Manga Club. It's your boy Aloha Lee signing in, and this week we are joined by a very, very special guest, 2Spooky. How are you doing today, 2Spooky?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
It is our absolute pleasure to have you on. And of course, we're joined by our gracious co host, Jin Graves, the man with the largest manga collection in the United States, with over 4,700 and almost 80?
Oh man, I think we're almost to 800.
We're almost
48.
4.8K. The man who has more manga than I have subscribers. So we are very, very lucky to be joined by 2Spooky today. And what I really would like to discuss with him is he's been creating content about manga and anime for quite a while, but he has just recently come into the manga collection scene, and I really want to get his perspectives on, as somebody who's been around for a while, but also is new all at the same time. So before we do any of that, Spooky, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a epic gamer on YouTube. I talk about different things, mostly anime and manga related, but also other stuff like video games, movies, things like that. And I guess it has been a little while since I've been on the scene. But like, for instance, when I started, I didn't even know that AnimeTube was a thing. So it's a learning curve.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. You're one of the reasons why, like, I saw all your top 10 videos like years ago, and I was like, man, this is some really high quality H2O. And so I started watching that, and then I started to dive down deeper and deeper into anime and manga tube, and I discovered Tekking, and I discovered, all of the big guys' Nux. And then I got even deeper and came across the manga collection community. I was like, this is something that I can do because I actually collect manga really well, and I don't quite have as over-top personality as Tekking 101. So I started discovering the scene, and lo and behold, Jin was one of the first people to discover me and gave me a shout-out. It was absolutely an amazing time.
Right.
So it seems like a nice little community you guys have going on.
We do our best to keep it nice, fun, and relaxed, and give each other as much advice as we can to help each other grow because, as a community, you're not competing with everybody else. You are growing with everybody. Then another person in your community means that there might be more subscribers that come to watch your videos and build the community more and more. So giving it a nice, healthy place to be is really what I try to promote, and I know Jin is basically the biggest champion of it.
Awesome.
So how did you get into making YouTube videos?
I secretly go by Lucy at the gladiatorial games.
Oh, is that right? And do you ride a bull named Usi?
Maybe. Sometimes.
Depends on the day.
You can be my Sabo.
I'm actually okay with that. I'm really okay with that. Sabo's my boy. So how did you actually get into making YouTube videos, Spooky?
Well, I've actually been like making something on YouTube in one way or another, like probably since I think 2008. So I've been on the site for a really long time doing like I started off with like RuneScape. I don't know if you guys are familiar with RuneScape, but like RuneScape music videos and stuff like that. Good times. Good times.
RuneScape was my jam, like OG RuneScape.
Yeah, I still like they released the old servers. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's on mobile.
Isn't that RuneScape 2007?
Yep, old school RuneScape. It's a blast. I play it from time. I'm on a break right now because you never quit RuneScape. You only take breaks. But yeah, that's what I used to do back in the day. And then that eventually evolved into like just like AMVs and stuff, but not for very long. And then that eventually transitioned into like a skit channel with my brother that you will never find, but it is out there. And then that eventually led me to this channel where I just kind of did like gaming and card openings for a long time. And eventually I came across a channel called Channel Frederator. You may be familiar with them. They're a very popular channel.
I might have heard of them once or twice.
Yeah, they posted a video about 107 facts about Naruto. And I was like, it popped up in my suggestions. I'm like, oh, hey, that looks pretty cool. Let's watch that. And I was really interested in it because like you get to learn stuff. You learn things that you might not know about. And I was like, wow, that was actually like extremely interesting. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they have one on like One Piece and Bleach. So I looked it up and they didn't. So I was like, I wonder if I could do something like that because like they don't have it out yet. I don't know if they're going to make one. I love those series and I would like to learn more about them. And perhaps I could also like give this information to other people if I can actually find stuff. And then that led to this. I uploaded a One Piece one, and it all just spiraled out of control from there.
Been downhill since then.
Indeed.
Indeed. I may have watched that One Piece one, but you also do something that's a little bit different than other creators out there right now. You actually are making long form, I'm going to call them documentaries, for lack of a better term, but it's the one that I've been shilling out probably the most out of any video that I've seen recently because I watched it in its entirety, was the Dragon Ball movie.
Oh, well, let me just say I'm humbled that you decided to watch it, because that was a lot of work.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes? Like
something like that.
Something
pretty
ridiculous.
Close.
Like that was honestly, I did not know that there were that many Dragon Ball movies in the world. I thought there was one and it was terrible.
Yeah, like basically after I saw the Old Boy movie not too long ago, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Old Boy.
Yes.
Really good. I highly recommend it for those out there watching. But I found out that was based on a manga, and I was like, "Oh, hey, that's like super cool. I'm going to go read that." And then I read it, and it was like, it had a lot of the same elements, but it was really different. So I was like, maybe I could make a video like comparing what's the same, what's different, which one's better than the other one, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey, maybe I could turn this into a series with other like live actions. And so I was doing a lot of research on it. Like I've done an insane amount of research now, but I saw that Dragon Ball in particular had like 2 other live actions that are super unknown because they're like bootleg basically, but they're out there. And I thought it might be a fun idea to like put a highlight on them as well. And so I have like a big old plan for a lot of live action stuff, because in general, like anime live actions kind of get a bad rap.
Oh, they get
a lot of them
terrible rap.
Yeah, like a lot of them are actually terrible too. Like, so they're well deserved, but there's also really good ones too. And like people just don't know about it because not many people give them a chance. So it's more or less a long-term goal to get more people introduced to them, I could say.
And that's a very noble goal. That Old Boy live action, like the difference between the manga and the anime, not the manga and the movie, huge plot differences. I mean,
yeah,
you pointed it out in your, again, definitely watched that video after I watched your other Dragon Ball one. But like all the differences that you pointed out are completely true, and I'm just really interested to see what you're going to kind of come up with next.
I'll keep you on the edge of your seat.
I'm hoping that it's Initial D. That's all that I want, is an Initial D live action like movie. That way you can also talk about the video games at the same time.
Well, I'll tell you, it's on the list. I've got 100 of them mapped out.
100?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So let's just say I've spent a little too much on live actions over the past couple months getting prepared.
100?
Yeah.
That's actually...
It's more or less like, basically the extent of my research was just kind of finding out what's available in English, what manga are like also available in English, like which can you, or like does the movies have English subtitles? Like, am I able to find like fan subs of it anywhere? Where is it available to purchase? How expensive is it? How many movies are there? Because a lot of them have sequels that people don't even know about, or like remakes. And I've just kind of like mapped out all the ones that I want to do within like the next couple of years, more or less, if I'm able to continue it, obviously.
I hate to tell you, I think you're going to be obligated to continue doing this until you're done.
Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, I got Initial D on there though.
Yes. What do you got, Jin? What have you gotten to see any terrible live action remakes of manga or anime?
Oh yeah. The Death Note one, the American one.
Yes. Oh.
Disgusting.
And you all know my thoughts on Death Note. Spooky, you might not, but I have a very huge aversion to Death Note, even though I just bought the entire box set.
Interesting. That's a pretty hot take right there, I must say.
It is, except for I'm feeling really bad because I think Matt Wiz is coming out with a video, and it's actually going to be titled "Evil All Along," and it's about Death Note. I was like, God, that's taking like all of my points away. It's like I've been touting this for like months. Was he in my mind?
Well, as long as you've got like, as long as you've got like some other points or like element to bring to it. Like obviously, if there's some overlap, that's never a problem with YouTube.
It's
as long as there's something new to bring.
Oh yeah, and I'm literally gonna go through the entire manga and start highlighting parts that I don't like making huge notes, and my goal was originally to make like a half-hour video, but Jen keeps trying to convince me to make like a 45-minute to an hour-long edited video with like a PowerPoint presentation and make it ridiculous.
Oh man, because like whenever somebody else like watches Lowly, they take a tick every time he brings it up, and so it adds like a minute to it. They're like, every time he says it, we're gonna have to add a minute, so we're up to like an extra like, I don't know, like an extra 30 minutes onto it. Or
it's getting a little ridiculous and over the top. I'm not gonna lie. But so what's the worst live action that you've seen so far?
Ooh, I mean, my body wants to say Dragon Ball Evolution. Like, I don't think I hate anything that much after seeing it like 4 times, having to like watch it and then watch it for the script, and then watch it while I'm editing, like in a lot of different places. It's really bad.
Four times.
Yeah, it's not like I can quote the movie in a lot of places, and it makes me really upset sometimes. Like
the trailers made me not want to watch that. Like, and I have PTSD from just the trailers, and they only last a minute and a half. I can't picture, what is that, 6 hours of watch time at least?
It's a pretty short movie, in all honesty. Like, you'd think it'd be longer because they're trying to pack so much into it, but it's really short. I think it's like
I feel like you could take like the beginning of it though, when he's fighting at school, and basically like overlap it with Spider-Man.
I could see that, like the Raimi Spider-Man.
Like, look, I got attacked at school and beat up, and then I come back with my power. Here it is. Ka-chow.
It's just the whole movie makes me so upset. Like, there's so many things wrong with it, and like if you're ever bored, have 2 hours to kill, like you can see why. Like, there's so much stuff. Like, it made me so upset too, because like I had all this like stuff lined out, and then like I realized so much more that I couldn't even put in because it's already this long of a video, and I've already been working on it for this long. So it's like, okay, I just gotta like throw these in here with like a text slide or something, because there's just that much wrong with it.
It's just all of it, from conception to execution. It was all wrong.
Yeah, it has no business being that bad. It really doesn't. Like, the other 2 movies that are made in like the jungle somewhere are so much better. I don't get it.
They even had like actual good actors who some of them genuinely cared, and it was bad. Like, bad.
I don't know what happened.
This is like The Room of anime movies.
It's not. The Room is actually like bad that it's good. This is just garbage. That's the problem. It's like, ugh. Hey, Fuller, you just wrecked my bike.
That's just terrible.
I will defeat Ozaru, and I will destroy you. Oh,
turns out you are Ozaru. Oh my god.
What?
They couldn't even make a gigantic monkey. Like, how?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I would like to see from like a Dragon Ball movie, is just a gigantic monkey stomping around in places. No, you just gave me like a 6'5" hairy dude. Like,
there's so much wrong with it. But yeah, I think that's the worst one I've seen thus far. I've seen a couple other ones that are like not that great. Like, for instance, the Ghost in the Shell movie, I know a lot of people think is not good, but like I remember actually it being a pleasant experience. So that's going to be one I'm looking forward to revisiting from an objective standpoint this time.
But are you going to do Avatar: The Last Airbender? Is a real question.
Maybe. I haven't really decided yet, because I want to keep it to like manga and just the movies, right? But when you bring like anime / in this case a cartoon into the mix, it's kind of like it takes away from the title a little bit. So I think maybe in the future I might play with the idea, but at the moment not planned.
Because I'm not gonna lie, Avatar: The Last Airbender is the absolute one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
It's like, I don't know, is it as bad as I can't quote from an academic standpoint like you, but is it close to Dragon Ball on that level?
Yes, like they are. Hit my mic. It's pretty. I would definitely say that that's actually really tough. I haven't seen The Last Airbender in a long time, but I do remember it was extremely bad, like Dragon Ball Evolution level bad. But I don't know which one I would consider worse without giving it a rewatch.
And it's like, I appreciate you for doing this project, because it gives me hope that I can discover new, actual good anime live action movies. and avoid the
well.
really terrible ones. Like that Full Metal Alchemist one just gave me a
Ooh.
headache.
I have it, but I haven't seen it yet.
I was talking with an actual artist. Like he posted it on his story, and so I messaged him. I was like, "How was the movie?" He's like, "You just need to watch it if you like it." And I watched it. I messaged him back. I was like, "You're a terrible person. You are a terrible, terrible person." It was brutal, and it just a lot of the times I think with anime live action movies, they're not trying to give you a story so much as they're trying to give you moments to attach onto, so it feels like you're getting the story, but they don't have to put as much in. Like, I know it sounds really, really weird, but they have so many big moments that they're not telling the story. Kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, not Guardians of the Galaxy, but Endgame. Just gave you a lot of. It was more moments than story.
I definitely see that. I think the issue is a lot of times like something gets lost in translation. Like a lot of people definitely understand that when you're adapting something, like everything's not going to be there. Like a lot of times, especially with anime, because a lot of them are long running, like you can't pack that much into like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So some things are going to be lost in translation. But as long as certain aspects carry over, like the characters and like certain plot points, usually it can be good. But a lot of times like something's wrong. Like the characters aren't right, or they just don't do anything with the story, or they do too much so it doesn't make sense, or like they're trying to combine arcs. That's usually where things get lost in translation, I find.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But, surprisingly, one of the best sources right now that I think, I'm going to say American live-action adaptations is probably Alita.
Oh, Alita was great. I read the manga before going to see it, and I gotta say they did a great job. There was only one problem I had with it, but even then, it's not even that big of a deal because everything else was pretty like spot on. And like they did do a good job meshing the arcs together because a lot of it isn't quite like the same, but all the plot points are there more or less, if that makes sense.
That totally makes sense. Like I said, it was a well shot and well acted, well edited movie, and it was just good overall. Jin, have you gotten to see it yet?
I have not.
What?
It's on my list. It's on my list.
The only thing I didn't really like about it was Hugo.
And that's what I've read. A lot of the problems was Hugo wasn't the same as his character from the manga.
Yeah, like Hugo in the manga is kind of a douchebag, more or less. But in the movie, he seems just like they try to make you sympathize with him, but they don't do it in a good way because he's like likable the whole time, even when he's being a douche canoe. So I don't know. They basically turned him into just a love interest where he actually likes Alita back, whereas in the manga she likes him, but he doesn't really care for her more than like a friend the whole time. And I don't know. They just kind of messed that up.
Instead of, because I think in the movie he likes her back, and in the manga he's just using her to try to get what he wants.
Yeah, it's all about his dream. And then when that doesn't work out, no spoils, but yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's really cut me up right there. I really cried a little bit.
Yeah. But like if Hollywood takes anime like if they take inspiration from Alita, I think they should do more like that. And they can definitely keep improving, but Alita's a great step in the right direction. I think they hit a lot of the right points.
No, absolutely. I think it's just insane. I think one of the next ones that's going to be really big as well, if it ever gets made, is going to be Akira.
Yep. 2021. They set a date.
They did, but they dropped the Taika Waititi dropped out.
Oh, really? I
yeah.
didn't even see that.
To go back to direct more Guardians of the Galaxy. Thor. I think he's going back for Thor.
Gotcha. Well, that's upsetting.
It is very upsetting. Like, I might have cried just a little bit. Like, I had such high hopes. I was like, okay, this is either going to be really, really good, or this is actually not going to be good at all. Because it's. I know it sounds really weird, Jin, but his style is so comedic. I don't know how well that would translate to such a heavy tone for Akira. Like, he's visually, I think it'd be good because it'd have all that trippy aspect that he's really good with. But I'm not sure if his tone would have been right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to say what it would be like. I'm definitely interested in seeing it when it eventually comes out, if it eventually comes out.
I mean, I'm going to be like 65, maybe. So like 40 years from now when we finally get Akira in the actual time frame that it's set, because it's going to be a documentary instead of an actual like film.
Either that or you'll be laying there on your deathbed. It'll end and you'll be like,
finally. Take my last breath as a video, as the credits roll. Or actually,
Right.
even worse, like right as the title card pops up before the movie starts, I take my last shuddering breath. You just hear, "Damn it!" That would be
Right.
such a heart wreck.
I hope that doesn't happen to me with One Piece.
Oda will never die. Oda will never die.
There we go.
It's-
Knock on that wood.
Darn right.
Right.
Darn right. So actually, my friend Shay had a question for you.
Yes.
What is your all-time favorite manga?
One Piece is definitely my all-time favorite, but if we're going exclusively on manga, it's got to be Berserk.
Berserk. Oh.
Because like I feel like One Piece definitely like as a manga, it's better than the anime, but the anime can also translate well in a lot of different places. So like I would just say overall that's my all-time favorite manga / anime. But as I'm sure you know, the Berserk adaptations aren't great. So
The
just
movies,
as manga-
the Golden Age arc movies were okay, but
yeah, that's what I heard too.
everything else was not good. Oh, but interesting. Choosing two series that aren't complete as your favorites.
Yeah, that's another thing.
What happens if you have to choose a complete one?
Oh man,
I know.
think let me bring up my watch list right quick.
These are the hard questions that people don't get to ask.
Oh, yeah,
And then somebody who's
Bebop or Monster probably.
see Monster's my jam. Like Urasawa understands the human condition so well.
Mm-hmm.
It's
fantastic.
He makes it like I forget the mystery every single time. Like I forget the who done it, even when I know who done it. I'm still reading. I'm like, oh, it was that guy all along. I'm like, oh right, I've read this before. Why am I surprised again?
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking.
Right. Oh man, I can't. I really want him and Oshimi to team up and do one because Oshimi does the human side of things so good, and whenever they try and do like a supernatural part, it ruins it.
I could see that. Like I'm in the process of reading 20th Century Boys right now.
Oh my god.
Like the first volume I thought was great, and the second one I'm kind of like that's where I had to stop because moving, so I haven't had the time to like sit down and read it. But the time jumps were kind of weird to me. I feel like they might be going too far ahead, but I'm gonna give it a chance though. I'm gonna let it do its thing.
Well, the crazy thing that I always tell everyone with 20th Century Boys, they're always like, where should I start with Urasawa? And even though 20th Century Boys is hands down my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and Billy Bat is an insane, crazy ride, Pluto is the absolute quintessential work that you need to read by Urasawa first, and then Monster, and then jump into his other works, because it slowly gets you into his way of storytelling without being too jarring and dramatic. But if anyone ever jumps into 20th Century Boys first, you're like, man, that was really, really confusing. Like, was it? They asked so many questions. I'm like, all right, go back, read Monster, come back and read 20th Century Boys. They do that, and they come back like, you know what? 20th Century Boys actually was really, really good.
Yeah, like since it's only on volume 2, and I know there's going to be like however many, like I got the omnibus ones or whatever, so there's probably going to be like what 10 or 11, but
roughly, yeah.
So like I'm still like there's still so much to go that I know like I'm not going to judge it too early on. I just felt like they jumped too far ahead and like there was so much in between that they could have talked about, and I was like, whoa, are they like going to go back to that, or is it just they're going to keep going forward? But
you mind if I spoil a little bit? Not going to tell any plot threads.
All right.
They tell 3 different eras of the story.
Okay.
That's it. They don't jump any further ahead than where you're at. They don't jump any further behind than where you've been. It's just 3 different threads of the same story.
Gotcha.
So you don't got to worry about it. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's definitely not confusing or anything. It's more just like I thought it was kind of drastic.
It is
so early.
It's a huge jump, but it's not like Billy Bat. Billy Bat goes off the rails with its time jumps. Like
gotcha.
Billy Bat starts off with like before the assassination of JFK, like in the 1950s, 40s even, and then it jumps all the way and then it'll jump kind of back to like really, really, really far in the past and then really far into the future, and it just stays there for the entire wild ride.
Gotcha.
But again, that I did my best not to spoil anything. But somebody asked, do you think that One Piece has a live action potential?
I'm pretty sure not too long ago I heard they were doing like an actual live action series, and it was going to be like one of the most expensive series ever made just because of the amount of money they're putting in per episode. I haven't like checked in on what's going on with that or anything, but I think any series has potential to be done right in one way or another. So I think they can do it right, but since One Piece is so exaggerated in a lot of ways, it's going to be tough.
So okay, I'm looking at it right now, because I remember seeing this because it looks like it's going to be on Netflix.
Oh well, I take back everything I said.
I take back everything and put the
Take it all
exact
back.
opposite forward. But it looks like Oda will serve as the executive producer of the series. And it was first announced in 2017.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just haven't heard anything about it in a while, so I don't know like where they're at production wise or anything. But I think every series can be done right to an extent. Like I know Hollywood also has the rights to Naruto. Disney has the rights to Dragon Ball again. I think Warner Bros. Yeah, because they did the Japanese Bleach one. I think they also have the American one. And then I know Warner Bros. Also has Attack on Titan's rights for like a Hollywood one. And I feel like the Japanese Attack on Titan remakes aren't that great, but I feel like if Hollywood can do it right, they could do it a lot better if they stick with the story.
I think they could, and I also think that they're going to do... Because Japan did something that was kind of weird. They chose an all-Japanese cast for manga and anime where everyone is predominantly white because of the big plot. Because Mikasa was the only Asian character, and it was a huge point, like even in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. It was very jarring. Very jarring, to say the least.
But I was like, okay, that ruins your own plot point. Though, that does bring up my question. Did you see my poll where I was asking if Disney now owns Dragon Ball, does that make Chi-Chi a Disney princess?
It's tough. I would definitely say it makes Vegeta a princess, but I don't know about Chi-Chi in particular. Because I can't remember if she was considered like royalty. Like I know she's the Ox King's daughter, but I don't know if he was like a king or anything. I can't remember offhand. I don't think he was.
Or if he just used the title of king.
Well, I know he had a castle.
Yeah.
I know that's for sure.
That is true.
So it comes down to it, but yeah, obviously Vegeta is the queen princess of all the princesses.
Oh, yes.
But also, okay, have you ever noticed this, that Vegeta's height has changed in the past few years?
I can't say I have. I know he's short, right? Like he's definitely one of the shorter ones.
He's short. Like he was actually like real short, like my height-ish, if not slightly taller. But as the anime has progressed more and more through the years, they've made him closer and closer to Goku's height. I was like, dude, Vegeta's like 55. Like
maybe it's that Earth ozone layer
making him taller. He's getting that Superman effect.
Right.
That'd actually be really... That would make an amazing story.
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys have heard of The Boys. It's a new like Amazon Prime thing about like superheroes that are douchebags more or less.
With Carl Urban, my boy.
So. I've been watching it over the past couple days.
How is that?
It's pretty good so far. Like it starts out really strong, and then the episodes I'm in like the middle right now kind of drag a little, but the concept is really cool. I would recommend so far.
Because it's about a group of almost CIA hit operatives going out to beat up superheroes.
Yeah,
like,
more or less.
If superheroes went bad.
Yeah, it's basically like superheroes are like, I don't even know how to explain it. They're like big corporate entities, but they also have like the potential to, murder a bunch of people. So like, when people get caught in the crossfire, like it affects people's lives, and then they try to get like revenge more or less and fight back against the system type of thing.
Interesting.
Indeed.
Actually thinking about series that are like good. This is going to be a tangent kind of, but I think would make a really good Junji Ito story? I think the Duffer Brothers for Stranger Things would do a great job.
Oh yeah. Fun fact, there's actually a bunch of Junji Ito movies already. I don't know if you were aware of that.
I was not aware of that.
They have 9 on just Tomie, and then they have I think I have 10 or 11 others of his stories that have been adapted.
What?
Some of them are pretty good. Others
Still there? Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Hello.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I would say some of them are definitely really good and watchable, and others are not. I will say that much.
Some of them will keep you up for all the wrong reasons.
Like they did one on Uzumaki that's actually pretty good, and they did one on Long Dream that starts out really good, and then it progressively gets really bad. And it's sad because that's one of my favorites of his. But yeah, there's a lot of them. I think an American adaptation could actually be really good with the Duffer Brothers, like you said.
Who do you think? Do you think that Parasite would make a good, what is it? Good live action?
Like for Hollywood?
Yeah, for Hollywood.
I think so. I think they could do a good job. Like I feel like a movie like that would probably be really good with. Oh, maybe I'm out of line, but just the Evil Dead in me. Someone like Sam Raimi. I feel like they could do an interesting take on it.
Because he knows how to do the body horror just right. That would be perfect for that. But you also pair it with the like kind of weird side of Miggy.
Yeah. I think maybe if he was like maybe not even the director, but more of like a producer, I feel like they could do some good work with that.
I would actually watch that. I never considered that. He would be an amazing choice. And maybe not even tell like the story of Miggy. Maybe tell the story of another parasite.
Yeah, just some random guy who's got it in his foot or something.
Yeah, just like, how did it get here? And I think that would be hilarious. And just do it as like a full comedy.
They could take one of the Neon Parasite, either F or M, and take a story out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just a short story, so they don't put a lot into it. Have creative freedom and everything.
Yep. I think they could do great jobs with that.
So when you're not watching live action adaptations of some great manga and some terrible anime, what else do you do for fun to get these creative juices flowing?
Ooh. Well, I definitely like watching shows, whether that be anime or just other shows. I like gaming occasionally, although I can't really find the time to do it a lot. So more or less, I just squat up with the boys when I can. And that's a good way to wind down and relax, have some fun. Sometimes get frustrated because, the Mortal Kombat life.
Go-to games. Top 3 games.
Oh man.
Oh, RuneScape.
Of course.
Oh, man. I'm going to say either Mortal Kombat or Soul Calibur because they can go interchangeable because they're my 2 favorite fighting game series.
I'm a Soul Calibur boy myself.
Love Soul Calibur.
Well, which one was the one for PS3? Was that Soul Calibur 5?
They had Soul Calibur 3 exclusive to the PS2, and then I think 4 and 5 were on the PS3.
So I think it was 5. I think it was 5. But that was such a ridiculously fun time.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play that. I used to play Infamous 1 and 2.
So crazy. It's crazy now though, all the characters that they added into it. Now that all what's canon to the Soul Calibur universe.
Yeah, Star Wars. Darth Vader? You kidding me?
Yeah, God of War.
Dude, that was Darth Vader in 4 or 5.
Yeah. Darth Vader was in 4.
Okay, so then never mind. It was 4 that I played because I had Darth Vader. I didn't have Yoda. I wasn't cool enough to have Yoda. Got the lame.
That's Xbox boys out here.
Lame. PS3 for life.
You had to wait. Eventually, though, I think they made it like DLC that you could buy it, though.
Yeah, but who wants to do DLC?
Nobody, right?
Who wants to pay extra money to get nothing really that extra? Except for Yoda was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like Xbox.
He's definitely cheap.
Yeah, like, oh, you can't hit me unless you do like a ground specific attack. I was like, so not fair.
You couldn't grapple him.
No, you're like it's like trying to catch a little mouse. Like a mouse with a laser butter knife.
Let me cut your butter.
And then what was number 3 for your game?
It's tough, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Dead Space because I feel like that's the other game I've sucked the majority of my time into and really enjoyed the experience.
See, oh man, you really like those action kind of. Okay, I can respect that though. I can respect that. I'm more RPG-ish, Pokemon, obviously.
Oh, I forgot about Pokemon.
Everyone does until you mention it. Then you're like, oh, never mind. Pokemon's my because Pokemon's such a way of life that you consume it and you're like, okay, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think if I had to swap, I'd definitely put Heart Gold in there or Soul Silver because those games have so much replay value.
Typhlosion was my boy. Like, Cyndaquil is my hands down favorite starter. Hands
It's
down.
definitely a great one.
What? Torchic?
No, I'm sorry. Your Firebird is going to lose to my Fire Weasel. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, what are you talking about? They're both fire. Why wouldn't they just team up?
Because Cyndaquil's too cool for that. He knows Thunder
And then-
Punch,
And then
Earthquake.
they'd be like, hey, Charmander, you want to come over? Yeah, we're going to go beat some.
Yeah, but
beat
then
some rear.
he'd transform to Charizard and just fly away because he doesn't care about anybody. It's cold and heartless.
F.
And then, they'd make it up there somehow.
And then they'd end up fighting Imbor, Chimchar, and then I stopped playing after that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I can't do this anymore. These Pokemon are too adorable for me to fight. And they were too cute.
Yeah, like I think I have Ultra Moon still in the wrapping from like when it came out. I just have not found the time to sit down and like get in that Pokemon mindset.
Have you ever gotten to play any of the Sacred Stones games, Fire Emblems?
No, I haven't.
Dude, they are. That and Pokemon ate up all of my time when I was a friendless high schooler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'd read manga, listen to AMVs while reading manga. That was like the pinnacle of my like depressing high school career was I would sit at home reading scans of Full Metal Alchemist while listening to Blue October Full Metal Alchemist AMVs exclusively.
They're great.
They were amazing.
I'd say because like I kind of checked out of anime in high school until my senior year when I got back into it, and it's just been full train forward ever since. But I'd say music is definitely my other like big hobby, which was very prominent in high school.
All right, top 3 bands then.
Oh man, Deftones is my all-time favorite, hands down. I would say my second has become a band called Mom Jeans. Probably haven't heard of them, but very, very good sad boy music. And then I'd probably put, yeah.
Are they like the Front Bottoms?
Yes, I would compare them to the Front Bottoms, actually.
Okay, because the name, I'm like, that sounds a lot like the Front Bottoms. Mom Jeans, Front Bottoms. Got to be some correlation.
Yeah, like they're very similar with their lyrical style for sure. I will give them that. And then I'd probably put. It's tough because I haven't really thought about what my definitive third is for a long time, but I'm just gonna go with Korn because I like Korn a lot.
I mean, Korn was like new metal before new metal was cool.
Exactly. Their first album is still a big banger.
It's okay. Papa Roach is still definitely.
Infest was really good.
Infest.
And they have a lot of like hits that I like, but they also have a lot of songs that like I'm not huge on these days.
I got to see him live. Have you ever gotten to see Papa Roach live?
I have. I think I've seen him like 3 or 4 times.
Dude, Jacoby puts on such a show.
Yeah, that guy's a mad lad.
The show that we went to, it was them and A Day to Remember and like Ronnie Radke's new band and somebody else, and I was like, I don't care about Ronnie Radke or the other band. I just want to go see Papa Roach and A Day to Remember. And so we get there right as Jacoby's like getting ready to get on stage, and he starts bouncing around. He's going all over the set, and he gets like 3/4 of the way through, and he grabs this mask thing, and he puts it on his mouth, and he takes his big breath in, pulls it away, big breath in again, and the crowd's going nuts. He's like, y'all probably think this is great drugs. It's just oxygen because I can't breathe. I was like, okay, I can respect that. He's like 42 or 43.
He's still got great stage presence. And it's been a couple of years now, but
it's just
they're still great.
It was ridiculous. And then A Day to Remember actually does a really phenomenal live show.
Yeah, I've only seen them once, but they did great. Or wait. I've never mind. I've seen them twice. I forgot about the second time.
It's just such a blast. And then I love going to live shows. Like I went to Warped Tour's final tour. I still hate them for that. They're like, it's our final tour. If you're not in California.
Yeah, I've only been to one Warped Tour myself.
I got to go to 2, and both of them were here in Kansas City. And the final one had like Neck Deep, had 4 Year Strong, and then few, like As I Lay Dying or Motionless in White, people like that. Like, it was a phenomenal show. It was just, I got super sunburned. Like I can't even describe how red I was. But my friend who's a nurse said, "Oh, it was bad."
Yeah, like it's terrible out there because I remember it was really hot the day I went, and it was like all this blacktop was where everything was at.
Nope,
water was like $4.
Mm-mm.
Insanity. They're making a killing on something that should be free.
You guys want your water or not, or you're gonna die? $4. What?
Did I stutter?
Did I stutter? Oh, you asked me the question again. $4.50 now. And they take your picture every single time that you come back, adding another $1. It's a limited resource.
It's criminal. It's criminal.
But it was such a great time. Like
for $20, would you like to buy this big chug gulp thing that we have?
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't like to buy the big gulp from NCIS?
It'll be $1 every refill you come back.
Actually, a really good deal.
I have to come back for 5 refills at least.
That would make it pretty fair.
Yeah, it's basically like you got to dehydrate yourself to enjoy yourself, because otherwise your wallet's gonna cry.
I mean, I still cry.
Yeah, true.
I still cry. But what are some hidden talents that you have? Like something that you wouldn't, that somebody on your average YouTuber would not suspect that you have as a talent.
I know how to play the drums.
What? What kind of, are we talking rock drums, punk drums, pop drums?
I can definitely do a mixture, I would say. I would say it's predominantly like rock, but I can get a little punky if I have to. Here, I'll link something in the chat for you to look at later.
All right, I will open that up 100%. No, I'm getting the feeling that we're about to make the greatest MangaTuber band that's ever been around. Possibly also the only MangaTuber band that's ever been around, because I played the bass guitar.
Ooh, that's the other instrument I've always wanted to learn, but I think it's too late for me now.
No,
like now that I'm moving, I can finally play the drums again, because like, you can't have drums in an apartment. Like, are you crazy? Do you want to get noise complaints? But now I can finally play them again, and I'm so happy.
I mean, I could maybe play bass, but I just had one bad experience after being in a band, and it just went super, super downhill, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah, I've had 2 now, so it's like, I don't think I would ever try again. Like, seriously. Like, I definitely, like, jam with people, but I would never be like, okay, we're doing this.
We're gonna...
Especially, like... Oh, you go ahead.
Oh. It's like, we're gonna get famous, guys.
Because, like, I don't even really like traveling that much. Like, I'll definitely, like, drive a few hours here and there, but, like, I could not imagine, like, going from one end of the country to another within, like, the span of a day. Like, after being all working yourself to the bone for the show that night, like, I couldn't do it.
Like, I got tired driving 2 hours to a show one time. I was like, nope, I'm probably not gonna be a rock star, am I? Like, you know what? And I was like, you know what you're gonna do, Brian? You're gonna become a fitness YouTuber. That did not last very long. I made like 5 videos. Actually, I think I made 10. And my highest viewed one was me making a bowl of Cheerios.
Yeah,
it was surprising.
I don't know why you ever stopped. Sounds like content I've been waiting for.
It's the content that everyone's waiting to eat up.
Is that why you got the special thing behind you?
The special thing?
Yeah, the Cheerios.
What are you talking about? I don't know. There's no Cheerios.
Subliminal advertisement?
Nah, there's no Cheerios.
Yeah, from this angle, it just says cheer.
Basimp, I actually asked, does every single manga tuber, anime tuber listen to metal or rock and roll?
I hope so.
I mean, yeah, of course they do.
Everything.
Jin listens to everything. I kind of listen to everything. You are like rock and roll. Alonzi's rock and roll. Are there any manga tubers that you know of that don't listen to rock and
roll? Not offhand. Like, the thing is, I usually don't ask people like what their music tastes are, because like I very rarely find someone that like I line up with perfectly. Like, usually like there's a little bit of overlap here and there, but a lot of times they're like, yeah, you're crazy, get out of here.
Korn is not crazy. That's like, I listened to Korn, System of a Down, hands down. was
Awesome.
like that was my first. God, one of their albums was my very first illegally ripped album that I got from a friend, and it might have. And then I actually ended up legally buying Steal This album, which I did it all wrong. I should have stolen that album.
Exactly. We all make that mistake.
I want to personally write to System of a Down and just apologize for that. Say, hey guys, sorry, I didn't actually steal your album. Just like
They
Blink
probably
182.
blacklist you from every show.
Man,
Right.
they might, but I'd be okay with that. How many people can say that they've been blacklisted from a System of a Down show other than the United States military? That's a deep cut. That's a deep
You're
cut
right.
with System of a Down.
Mm-hmm.
But
Deep.
dude, there's just so much to talk about that, like, this 1 hour is not going to encompass everything that I want to discuss. But what are you kind of looking for when it comes to collecting manga?
Ooh, see, it's a loaded question because I'm one of those guys who's always been collecting something throughout their life. Like, I'm a big hoarder, right? So when it came to manga, like, it started very small, and like as I've gotten back into anime and manga over the past like 6 years or so, I've definitely been collecting a lot more. And now that I've like found your guys' community more or less, I definitely know like a lot more about it, because like I started out by like just coming across like collection videos, because like to me it's really interesting to see like what people have, because a lot of times they give commentary on like, what's rare, what they really like, what's good, yada yada yada. And for me, I've always wanted to have like a collection that I can be proud of in the fact that it's things that I really like and also things that are very hard to find. If you find that happy medium, I feel like you can go to bed with a smile on your face.
I think you can, yeah. I mean, I kind of like to do the same. Like, I'd like to find things that are a little bit rare. Some of them I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'm like, I got to have this in my collection because I've never seen anybody have it. And other things, I'm like, I have to have this in my collection because this is something that just makes me smile.
It's like an every week thing.
Jin, that's because you have the most manga out of
Somebody
anybody.
will make a video and they'll be like, you know how much I had to buy this series for? And I'm like, I bought this for like $6 a book. How it can't be that expensive? And they're like, it's worth like $500 now. And I'm like, holy crap.
Because like I really want the like in particular, I really want the Battle Royale like Ultimate Editions or whatever they're called.
Ooh.
Like the really big ones, but like doing some research, 4 and 5 are no thanks.
Right.
Big expensive.
I have the original printings of it, so not like the Ultimate Editions, but like 1, 2, and 3. I'm like, okay, these are pretty cool. Like, but yeah, those Ultimate Edition of Battle Royale.
Oh.
But it's, for me, I'm like, man, that is a pricey book.
Yeah, I can't justify myself to do it.
The hardcovers are almost $50 a pop.
Don't watch the biggest baddest manga haul that I put out. It was just supposed to be a joke video because I used a box that was this size and I pulled maybe over 100 volumes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And all those series on there are ones that people are like, hey, that series by itself is like $250, $500. I was like, I'm gonna use these because nobody else will think about it. And everybody starts telling me, where'd you get those? I'm looking for that. And I'm like,
I've
I've had it.
Yeah.
Did
Because like you can never tell what's going to go to print.
What did both of you say? I'm sorry, I got deaf there for a second.
You can go ahead first.
Jin, what did you say, Jin?
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
Well, what I said was like you can never tell what's going to go out of print. So it's like you could have the opportunity to buy it, and then you pass it up, and then like years later you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, and then oh wait, $300. What the?
You almost got it.
Right?
You almost said it too.
What the?
You almost used your one, but we only have 10
I mean,
minutes
I was
left.
about to say frick, but then I'm like, yeah, wait, no, censor. So I doubled down on the fudge.
You're like, I gotta get double fudge, guys, double fudge. Like, I was really blown away because I'm not sure if they're by where you're at, Spooky, but Half Price Books is one of my favorite places to purchase manga from.
I don't have one near here, unfortunately.
They have a lot of their stuff online.
Let
It's
me
so
tell
good.
you. So there's a place that I found that's a used bookstore that I went to, and I went in there and I'm looking around and whatnot, and my mom goes in with me and she's sitting there and asks the lady, "Do you guys have any manga in here?" And she goes, "I don't think we carry that book." And she goes, "No, it's books, like Japanese comic books." And she goes, "We don't carry that crap here." And I was like, "You mean you don't buy any of this stuff?" Gold mine. She would have had a gold mine.
Yeah, she missed out big time.
Like, oh man, the amount of money that's sitting on your shelves, Jin. Well, it's not important, but just tell me where you live, and if you ever get robbed, it wasn't me.
Hey, I had somebody say that already, and they were like, "Yeah, where do you live at? I'll come over there." I said, "I don't know. You know, bookshelves make a pretty good weapon, and I don't have to explain why it fell over on top of you."
The books just got too heavy, man. The books just. You're also like 6'5". Like, you could literally reach out and run me down as I'm running away. Like, you're 6 whatever. I'm 5'6", man. I'm that dwarf height.
Oh, high five,
Thank
my man.
you. Get me, Spooky.
I'm 5'7", so I'm really close.
Oh, I mean, so you're like we're basically like height brothers here. You get my pain though.
How about, we'll become roommates together or whatever, and you can be that kind of like, you'll be my cannonball guy. So if somebody else is running away, I can like
Dwarf throwing. You're gonna do dwarf throwing
Yeah.
with me. That's hurtful.
yes.
As long as you don't put a helmet on, I'll keep my helmet ready so it doesn't hurt as much.
You just aim for the manga, you'll get it every time.
By the way, Base said that your shelves are bending. They probably aren't that stable of a weapon.
Oof.
That makes them even better of a weapon. That way I can be like, the reason why they were bending is because they were ready to fall over anyway. The guy that's been trapped under there for 5 days and is probably dead. I don't know.
I didn't hear him. I didn't hear anything from him. It was real weird. It was a real weird incident, guys. Real
Right.
weird. So we're coming into our like last 5-10 minutes of the stream. So we're gonna come down to the real nail-biting questions. What are some of your favorite manga and anime memes?
Ooh. Oh man, memes are so fresh all the time. It's hard to pick a favorite.
It is. I know what my favorite one right now is, and it's just because one, it's both a meme and just a brilliant tactic. I'm enjoying Nux's meme right now. The meme of Nux.
I mean, he is the meme lord, like personified.
He is like but he's so brilliant with it too. Like, I know it's weird to say that a person is my favorite meme,
But it's accurate.
It's accurate. He's the most brilliant meme I have seen in quite a long time. He's almost better than Bad Luck Brian. He's almost better than Socially Awkward Penguin.
Oh, man.
He's in video form.
Indeed. He truly transcends the genre.
He does. Jin, on the other hand, is the genre. He is the manga collector.
Yeah.
Dude, we need to get you like a shirt that just says the manga collector, not like Manga Tube or manga collector, like the manga collector.
Right.
We can do it. I can get you like pay $10, get you a shirt, maybe 11 if we want to get the screen printed.
Right.
But anyway, what is your favorite manga and anime meme of all time?
It's really tough because like I'm super basic in the way that I feel like my favorite type of anime meme is just like a really derpy screenshot to use like as a reaction image for later. Or like when you take a manga panel and you like switch around the text to say something really dumb.
Like that.
Stuff like that makes me laugh.
When they do that at the end of Scanalations, and they have that meme panel at the end that's just saying something completely wrong, but it still fits in a completely right way.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my favorite. I also, again, I'm a Vegeta. Vegeta, it's over 9,000. Though, interestingly enough, did you know that if you open up the Dragon Ball Z volumes, he actually only says 8,000?
Yeah, I did know that actually.
Somebody else knows. Thank you. I feel like I'm alone in the meme world. They're like, it's over 9,000. I'm like, and your meme's incorrect.
I've had to do my Dragon Ball research in my day.
I've read enough Dragon Ball Z in my life to have this completely memorized. I can tell you which page Vegeta says it on. It's on page 68 of volume 3. and a half. Actually, it's probably on volume 6. Or was it 4? Somewhere in there.
I'm amazed.
You should just pick what omnibus it's in.
Actually,
That'd be a
wait.
lot easier.
My favorite long-running meme is the Dragon Ball Z power-up shot that lasts 6 days.
Oh,
Oh
God.
man.
Like, if you read... So, do you remember how long the actual power-up was in the anime, either one of you?
Are we talking about like the first time you went Super Saiyan?
The very first time against Frieza. Do you remember how long that lasted?
I think they said it was supposed to be 5 minutes, but it lasted like 6 episodes or longer, something like that.
It did. The very first time that he goes... So there's 2 instances that happen in volume, I think it's 11 when he goes Super Saiyan. It's 11 and 12. So he first goes Super Saiyan, and it's literally 3 panels. He goes from black-haired Goku to Super Saiyan Goku in 3 panels.
Right.
And then in the actual, when he's powering up to 100% of his Super Saiyan form, it's less than a chapter.
Okay, I misunderstood what you meant. I thought you meant like the entire Frieza fight, like after he went Super Saiyan.
Oh, no, the entire Frieza fight after he went Super Saiyan lasted like 3 books.
Yeah,
It was a while.
like, it was supposed to be like only 5 minutes worth of,
Like
in
human
planet
time.
time. Yeah.
Like, it's been 5 minutes as they've been battling for 6 hours. But then they explain that they're like, oh, they're just moving way too fast for time to keep up. I was like, okay, I'm done. They're having supersonic conversations now. Like, what kind of energy drinks are they taking? Like, is this some kind of monster-fueled Kyle Rage? Is that what Goku is? Just a Kyle?
in Super, you could say that.
Oh my... Dude, Super was...
Maybe-
Super is not even drawn by Oda.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
everybody
don't
else
have to
was
talk about
super-
it. It's bad.
It's like, if it was pure fan-made, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's not.
Yeah, not my Goku.
Did you ever read the original Tournament of Power?
Yeah, I actually, like, I'd seen episodes of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z like just out and about, but when I finally decided to sit down and get to the whole entire story start to finish, I just read the whole thing.
There was an actual fan-made thing that this Tournament of Power was based on. Like, it was completely different. Like, and that's why Oda picked it, is because a guy basically had already written the story, and it's like, oh, do you just want to make it official?
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just like there's some fan. I read some fanfics. I don't read fanfics very often because they usually get real weird real fast. But I found one really good one that was what would happen if Gohan had been kidnapped by Raditz.
Oh, goodness.
And it's still, Gohan basically becomes the most powerful of all the Saiyans, and he just destroys everybody because Nappa, Vegeta, and Raditz all teach him to dial into his rage better than Goku could.
Dang.
And you were like, man, Gohan can do that! And it was mind-blowing.
Hey, I still want a side story based off of the strongest person in the universe, which is the original stone that hit Goku in the head.
Dude, like, that didn't even make any sense. He hit his head, so he became good. I was like, okay, we're fine with this, and then they changed it again. He was always good. I was like, so then what's the point of Dragon Ball? Are we just retconning this, Akira? Like, Toriyama, you need to calm down, reread what you've actually written in the past, because he doesn't, and he doesn't remember, and he doesn't care. He's the most frustrating author because...
He forgets.
He forgets. Like, the amount of actual, like, Fs that he gives is 0.
Like, Launch? He completely forgot Launch existed throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball Z.
Then he was like, oh, by the way, like, what happened to Launch? Oh, yeah.
He got lost going after Tien. I didn't forget about her.
She definitely didn't forget about her. I was like, Oda, just make some sense. And there were some rumors flying around that actually he didn't really come up with very much of it at all. Like, it was his wife and his brother-in-law who did most of it.
Like, I know his editors in particular had a lot to do with like Cell, for instance, and Frieza.
Thank Jesus. Otherwise, that would have been terrible. Except for, I do not like the decision that they made to end it after the Buu saga. It should have ended after Cell.
I agree.
Gohan should have been the final victor. Like,
I definitely agree to that. I like the Buu saga, so like I guess I'm happy that it exists. But if I had to choose a stopping point, it's definitely after the Cell saga.
100%. And then
I'm still confused why Arlie, which is from Dr. Slump, wasn't in like, you know, the strongest in the universe or whatever, I'm still surprised why she wasn't even like involved in it when she was back in Dragon Ball 2. So
Headcanon says that she just didn't feel like she wanted to participate because she knew that she'd be too strong. Real canon is he forgot that he placed her in the same universe as Goku.
Facts.
Right.
That's 100% facts. Though I will say that the Buu Saga does give me some of the best arguments. Like, my buddy and I have a 2-year argument going on as to who was stronger. If Kid Buu or Super Buu was stronger. And it's one of the hardest questions we've ever had. It's nearly ended our friendship.
It was Kid.
No, it was not. So Buu is the amalgamation of every single Buu draws in power from everything that he's taken in. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if that's the case, then when Buu has absorbed everybody, he should hypothetically be at his strongest, correct?
Yes.
Possible.
So Kid Buu, who is minus literally everything in his system, Kid Buu is gone from all of that. Like, Kid Buu doesn't have anybody else in his system. How can he logically be the strongest if he doesn't have any power inside of him that he has been holding?
He expelled all the unnecessary parts.
He expelled all the unnecessary parts, but he also expelled their power at the same time.
Looks like we got to call the power scalers.
We do. I mean, we need to get the power scalers on here because this is going to go down as something that's either has to be proven in facts, but my thing is Super Buu was able to beat a Super Saiyan 3. We saw that. Like, easily beat a Super Saiyan 3. But then Super Buu also ended up losing to Mystic Gohan until he laid the trap that ended up being Gohan's own hubris, as is the usual with Gohan, getting himself caught. At that point, he was the strongest in the universe. Then at that point, then we go to Kid Buu, right? Kid Buu is able to fight on... Goku Super Saiyan 3 is able to fight on even ground as Kid Buu, even though Super Saiyan 3 before was getting his rear handed to him. And Super Saiyan 3 Goku was stated as saying that Gohan was the strongest unfused character in the series.
Well, if you take out data book 4 and go to page 14, paragraph 2, it says right here.
Right.
I
mean,
so I get
is
that's why that's what I was trying to say. Like, that's why the power scales will come out and like they'll prove it right in one way or another.
If we take it from like the video games, though, I'm pretty sure that they made Kid Buu as the final evolution.
I mean, that's because he's the final guy, yeah. But if we also go by that, then I ended up beating Gogeta with a Cyberman. So we can't use the video games as canon.
Hey man, I feel like that's canon.
Maybe. I mean, could have. You know what? We're not going to get into that. A suiciding Cyberman can't.
It'll be one of those. In another universe, Cyberman was actually the strongest character ever.
That actually might be. There's enough alternate universes out there that it's possible. It's enough. But anyway, we are at the end of our stream, so the ultimate final question is coming to you, Mr. Spooky. And this is a question that I never think of until I start talking right now. And it lets us know the most about you as a person.
Lay it on me.
All right. Are you Apple or Android?
I'm Apple.
Ooh.
I was like, what if he tells you he's neither?
Well,
I use a banana.
I'm actually a Google Pixel 2 kind of guy. The only phone that can shoot in 4K.
What is it in like the Disney shows or whatever? Pearpod?
Pearpod, it's a Pearpod.
There you go, yeah.
From iCarly? You going with some iCarly cuts right now? Because I can respect
Hey man, we ended up, because I watched it with my niece, we watched something that came out, and they all use the Pear stuff still. And I was like, what?
Yeah, because it's all part of the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Scrubs, Parks and Rec, The Office, and 30 Rock are all in the same universe.
Interesting.
I know. Actually, if you look it up, there is one solid theory that most TV shows are actually just the dream of a child from another TV show. It's like the Pixar theory, only crazier.
Really wrong.
It's because the kid's in a coma. Like it's based on a kid in a coma with a dream, and they're like, it started here, and you can prove it because so and so was on this TV show here on the TV show, and blah blah blah. I was like, wow, we're getting kind of,
It's getting meta.
We're getting meta here. But now we know that you are an Apple man. Jin, what are you, Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple. Oh man, I feel outnumbered here with the Android. Is it because it's so easy to use? Is it because of its ecosystem? Like, why Apple?
I mean, I'm definitely not like an Apple fanboy by any means. Like, I don't go out of my way to get Apple products, but the phones in particular, very easy to use. I'm not out to like upgrade my phone every year because that's dumb. But
Right.
they last me a long time. I haven't had any issues thus far, like needing a new phone early, like, no battery problems. Yeah, it's just easy to use and it's a good time. And frick Android. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Family plan.
Jin's like, Spooky's over here like laying out some solid points. Jin's just like, it's the price. The family plan's so much better.
Hey, I mean, I did have an Android at one point, and at one point I was sitting there and I was like, why isn't my phone working? And the next day my mom's like, here you go. Here's your new phone. And I was like, this isn't an Android. This is an Apple phone. She goes, yeah, it was cheaper.
You're like, dang it, Mom. I need my chicken tenders and my Android to succeed in life. And you took away both of those. You gave me chicken fingers instead of tenders.
Right.
Actually, that's a whole nother debate, though.
It would be one of those Rain Man situations. There's only 4. We can cut him in half. There's not more there, though.
So, again, I want to thank you, Spooky, for being on. Jin, obviously, you're the usual. Spooky, what do you have coming up, and where can people find you?
Oh man, well, nothing particularly exciting coming up. Just more videos. A lot of different stuff planned. I like to plan ahead a lot, so I've got like over 20 videos mapped out. Just gotta get making them. You can find me on YouTube at some weird random link. I don't remember what my / is because it never shows up.
It's down below.
In the description. Yeah, there you go.
It's in the description and down below.
It was an absolute pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on, boys.
Not a problem. Jin, what do you got coming up? You know the routine on this one.
I got stuff for the Spartan Challenge. That's about it. Which I'm failing at.
It's okay.
Horribly.
It's okay. You just got to read 50 more manga.
I've only read 2.
Yeah, you're failing. It's been 7 days and you're only at 2.
And I'm reading this one, the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire series, and it's just this thin book. And I'm like, I'm doing so bad, I'm just going to count this as 1 instead of a half like I usually do.
I can respect that, though. I can respect that. And then, everybody, you know where to find me, obviously. 2Spooky's channel link is in the description down below. Go follow him there, because if you haven't watched any of his videos, you are absolutely missing out on one of the quintessential creators on the creative channels. I tried to do a lot of C's there. It just didn't work out. I apologize. That was a failure. Also, I'm going to chill out on this one. Go check out his Amiibo. That's what it's called, right? Amiibo?
Oh, you mean Amino?
Amino, thank you. Amino. I knew it was something like that. Go check him out on there. I follow him on there and watch his videos. Go watch. Amino is just a really interesting app. We'll tell you about it after the video's over, Jin.
Don't
you worry. And you all know what's coming up for me. Just exciting videos. I'm going to keep trying to change the game. This Friday is going to be another welcome back. Monday, I'm going to do a response to all of the manga tube burnout situations that are going on. And then it's all going to be up in the air because I'm getting married soon. So that's where we stand. That's where I'm at. Stay tuned next week when we have Mr. Flip Otaku on. He's traveling from the Otaku Dadcast all the way to the Lohali and Jin Graves Manga Club Podcast live stream, whatever you want to call it. But again, thank you guys so much for being on and being a part of this conversation. It was a wonderful time. And for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohali, and I will see you next video.